Business is a general subject that covers many of the contemporary business practices of modern society. Broadly, we simply follow the business cycle through its 4 key phases over 4 separate units, looking at, in Unit 1, business creation, being the fundamentals of business concepts and the creation of business ideas. As such, we explore entrepreneurship and the seed and startup stages of the business cycle, with a strong focus on introducing some of the skills required to be successful in a study of business. These skills are namely the interpretation of case studies and research skills for business reports. In Unit 2, the business growth stage of the business life cycle is our focus. In this unit, we explore the actual establishing of a business beyond the startup phase, and in particular, the essential skills of being able to enter markets, often one of the most difficult elements of moving a business into the growth phase. In Year 12, we start off Unit 3 looking at business diversification, particularly with expansion into Asia, and the progress of strategic development within business practices in the maturity phase of the business life cycle. We complete Year 12 in Unit 4 looking at business evolution and the repositioning or transformation of a business in the post-maturity phase of the business life cycle. Think Apple starting with PCs, moving into music players and mobile phones, then watches and wearables, and now we have our first Apple car rolling off the assembly line with a 2025 production goal. In business, there are also some skills that are particular to our work, those being general business knowledge. Here I will point out that we explore medium to large businesses, so our examples and skills will generally be those of larger successful businesses, which include the writing of formal business reports. These skills noted, business reports utilise a different writing structure that includes the key analysis of internal and external factors, such as those outlined by economists as micro and macro elements of an economy, or more simply, those elements of a business that you can control, such as what you produce, as opposed to those things you cannot control, such as the environment, the weather. Finally, we also undertake a feasibility report, a report that answers the question of whether or not an idea is feasible. Think again the process that Apple would have gone through and still is going through to build a new car from scratch. Generally, anyone with a modicum of understanding about how business operates will do well in this course. However, there are some fairly high-level academic skills required alongside the subject matter being big business. This subject is not necessarily relative to those wanting a small business study. There are a total of 4 assessment pieces, one each worth 25% per term in Year 12 at present. We have in Term 1 an examination of competitive markets and some of the issues they raise. In Term 2, there is a business report on strategic development in competitive markets. In Term 3, we do a feasibility report on repositioning a business. Think petroleum companies in a world of renewable energy. And in Term 4, we have an examination on Unit 4, Topic 2, Business Transformation, a relatively prescriptive examination on a very short section of the text that facilitates for a much easier study program than other subjects in their IA4. In terms of assessment, there are 2 2,000-word written tasks in Year 12 that can intimidate. But I must note that the majority of students do not struggle with the word count. Most struggle with paring their commentary back to within reasonable limits. There are a total of 4 assessment pieces, 1 times 25% per term, worth 25% per term. In Year 12 at present, we have, in Term 1, an examination on governance and the law. In Term 2, a research report on the balance between security and privacy in Queensland. In Term 3, an argumentative essay based on artificial intelligence decision-making, international law and human rights. And in Term 4, a further examination on human rights from an Australian perspective. Business provides for a total of 4 QCE credits, 1 point per unit over 4 units. It is a wide-ranging, extraordinarily contemporary subject that is relative to all careers, as no careers exist that don't have to deal in one way or another with the appropriate management of transactions. The course is broad enough to study any of the big companies that make up Australia's strong economy, so there will be something that takes your fancy throughout this interesting and sometimes challenging course. Moving on from the academics, some of our added practical experiences include the following: participation in Business at Dusk with the Toowoomba Regional Council. are participation in the Queensland University of Technology Blue Shift Business Case Presentation Competition and participation in the Bond University Business Days.